Came in with some real weird heat energy on that one. That was awkward, was it not? So will the rest of the set be, I'm sorry. I have terrible anxiety. Has anyone in here ever had a panic attack? Don't woo for it. That's not how, if you haven't had one, that's not how they feel. They're not a fun time. That's how cocaine feels. You're on cocaine. That's what's happening. You have an insane laugh. I love you so much. Please never stop laughing. You're gonna make this fun for me. I mean, for the rest of you hate me, this guy's got my back. I had a panic attack here the first time I ever did comedy. And I was so afraid. I didn't want like you guys or anyone to see me have a panic attack. So I just went out on the streets of Cleveland to do it. It's adorable. I've been a friend for life just now. But I went out on the streets of Cleveland to have a panic attack. Have you guys been out there yet? This is not where you want to have a panic attack. So I'm bent over and I can't breathe when it's happening. So I'm bent over, I'm trying to breathe, and I can't. And people are just walking by me, and they're like, yeah, this makes sense. LeBron left. And so I think I'm dying, and when you're in that moment, it really feels terrible. And then I feel this hand start just gently rubbing my back. And I think it's the manager or another comic or somebody I know. And I turn around and I look, it's just a homeless guy. But he gives me this like nod as if to say we're gonna get through it together, and I'm like, take me there, homeless man. And we do. It totally works. And I was very grateful, and I stood up and I said, thank you so much. My name's Joe Briggs. I needed that. And without skipping a beat, he looked back at me and was like, so you have any money? He was still playing the game. And I gave him all of the cash I had, because I was like, if I would have gone to a regular doctor, this would have been hundreds of dollars. But I opted for street medicine in Cleveland, Ohio on a Thursday night. And I was like, God damn it, I saved money. Like in the back of my head, I was like, I know my dad's at home right now, but he's proud. He's actively proud of me. I have crippling road rage, which I don't think you get by looking at me. Do you just pat your hands for road rage? You don't look like a person. I was like, I have road rage, and she was like, yay. Me as well. I have it, and I got in trouble like a couple weeks ago. I went to the Root Cafe in Lakewood. Has anybody ever been to the Root Cafe? Yeah, I was in front of it, and there's a crosswalk, and I was driving, and I stopped where you're supposed to stop, and there was this hipster couple kind of walking, but they weren't in the crosswalk. They were like closer to my car, and they walked, and when they got to my car, they acted like I was in the crosswalk, and the guy threw his hands up like I was in the way. And so I like flew into a rage, and I threw my hands up too. And then he smacked the hood of my car, and I blacked out for like 10 minutes. I got out of my car and I was like, it's going down. For the record, I wasn't looking for a fight. I was listening to Dancing in the Moonlight by King Harvest, a track that makes your dad happy. And so I get out of my car and I have all this like weird, insane energy, and I look at the guy and I was like, hey, Joe! And then he looked back at me and he said, what are you gonna do? And I didn't know what to do in that moment, so I just went, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna fucking kill you. Which isn't what you're supposed to tell strangers. You don't say that. And this like cafe, this is a coffee house where people that wear beanies in the middle of summer go. So like everyone outside was like, I'm alarmed. And so I told this guy I'm gonna kill him. His girlfriend's there, she hears a death threat, and she was like, I'm gonna call the cops, I'm gonna call the cops. And she takes her phone out and she goes, I'm calling the cops right now. But I've already reached a pinnacle with my emotions. So I look at her and I go, good, call the cops. I'm gonna tell them you were jaywalking. And I put my arms back. And so I don't know, I'm like, even at this point, I'm like, how am I gonna get out of this situation? But then the light turns green and the car behind me honks at me, and it just renews my emotions. And I turn around and I look at that car and I was like, there's gonna be a double homicide tonight. Everyone in Cleveland wants to die. I'm an envoy of death. I'm a really nice guy, I promise. I bought a bidet. It was that transition, I couldn't think of anything and you saw it. I did my best and goddamn it's not always good enough. But I bought a bidet and I bought it because I was drunk and I texted my brother, just bought a bidet for my badum. And honestly, I still think that joke holds up and I'm sober right now. And it's sweet. It comes in the mail, which like if you told someone 50 years ago that a bidet would just come in the mail and you could put it in yourself, it would blow their minds. But I installed my bidet and it's cool and I want to try it, but I didn't have to go. When I installed it, I don't know if you always have to go, I don't always have to go. But I was like, we're gonna do a dry run on the bidet, and then when the day comes that I need it, we'll know what to do. It's like a military exercise for your butthole. And so and so I sit down on the bidet, and does anyone in here have a bidet? Yeah, what, you do. What is the knob control, the one knob?
It's like one knob.
Yeah, I asked you what the one knob does, and you were like, yeah, it's one knob, I have a bidet. Yeah, there's like a knob, and then there's like a thing it's a bidet, man. You know how they work, I have one, it's a bidet. You're like, it just does what it does. It spurts, and it's soap. If you don't have a bidet, there's no soap involved. I'm sorry, but it's a knob and it controls the pressure. And nobody told me. And so I sat down and I just turned it to what I thought was all the way on. It hit me with a force that I can only describe as upset fire hose. And like, you have to adjust the knob, but it went right in the hole. Right in the hole. If Tiger Woods would have seen it, he would have been like, that's a good shot. I don't know. First try, goddamn, that's impeccable. And I know how bodies work, but I swear to God, a little bit of water came out of my mouth. Like, I know there's like a road map in there, and like it curves, but there's a shortcut. Doctors haven't found it yet. But right out, I was like, holy shit. And so it hurts pretty bad. Oh my God. This guy's laughing, someone over here was just like, oh my God. There is a shortcut, I knew it. But it hurts very badly when this happens. So I jumped off my toilet and I screamed and I'm like crying a little bit. Nobody else is in my bathroom, but I'm like, they're not tears. Just to an empty void. And so I turn it off and I'm like, I know I have to clean this up, but I just want to go outside first and think about who I've become as a man. And so I get on my porch and I'm like, I need a cigarette just to like take. So I go to smoke a cigarette and I'm taking it to my mouth. And my hand is shaking, like when you ask your grandfather about the war. Like that kind of shake where you're like, it's getting up there and he's like, it was Iwo Jima. And so I get the cigarette and my neighbor comes outside and he has this look of concern on his face. And he looks at me and he just goes, did you hear a woman scream? Because I heard a woman scream. And I looked back at him and I was like, yeah, she's gonna be fine. Mind your business. I had a stroke apparently, holy shit. You guys see that too, or was it just me? God damn. Oh my God, I was like, wow, this is gonna be a better transition than the last one, and then my brain was like, hold my beer. You're in for a rocky ride. Oh my God. There's times when I'm like, I'm a healthy young man, and then that'll happen, and now I'm not gonna sleep tonight. I'm not gonna sleep. I'm gonna watch it set at home, I'm gonna go on WebMD, and then I'm gonna find out that one of my feet is gonna fall off, and then I'm gonna die. My mom's a sweetheart. I love my mom, but the problem with my mom is she's so nice, I never want her to catch me doing anything wrong. Does anyone in here have like the nicest mom in the world? Nope, just me. And so, that's right, I fucking knew it. I love my mom, and she's only caught me doing something bad one time, and I hate it so much. I was home from college and my girlfriend came with me, and my parents, they were like, we were staying at my parents' house, my parents were like, we're gonna go out to dinner at the Outback Steakhouse, and we were like, have fun. we're gonna do it. You know, like when the parents leave the house, young person do it. Wait, has nobody in here had sex yet? You guys are gonna love it, it's the best. But my parents leave, and me and my girlfriend, we go on the couch, we do it, and we do it good. I really get it in there, and you would have been like, that's the stuff. You would have been like, that's my boy, look at him go. And so we both finished to completion, and she goes, that was amazing, and I go, I know. And we use protection, because I can't imagine having like another me up here doing this as well, so we use protection. And when we were done, I take the condom and I roll it up in a napkin and I put it in the bottom of our trash bin. And I'm like, I'm never gonna see this again, because that's how the trash works. So my mom comes home from the Outback Steakhouse, no rules, just right. And I don't know why I said that. And she takes the garbage out of the bin and she puts it on the patio and she goes, before you go to bed, make sure you put this in the actual trash. Don't leave it out all night. And I go, got it. And then I fell asleep immediately because I had a big release. You would have loved it. And so, now take your time. The story can wait. I didn't actually mean take your time. You have to understand that. But we are building suspense together. This is gonna go. When the punchline, if the punchline doesn't hit, that's on you. So that night, raccoons get into the trash. Yeah. And they like go to town. They feast, they eat all the food, but then when they're done eating, they take the condom and they just lay it on top of the bag. And they look at it and they're like, does that look right? And they're like, absolutely. We're raccoons. This is what else would we do? We got weird thumbs. And so I wake up in the morning to my mom standing over me in bed. And she goes, you need to see something. If your mom tells you that, don't get out of bed. Stay in bed. That's the safe place. So she takes me outside and she shows me my own work. And she goes, do you know what this is? And I go, yes, intimately. And then she goes, do you know what you did wrong? It's 8 o'clock in the morning, I just woke up, I'm not thinking clearly yet, and I just respond with, yeah, I used a condom. Wasn't funny in the moment, guys. Still not funny to me. This is the first day of winter break, and we just don't talk for the next 3 weeks. We're eating every meal in complete silence, and my dad is at the table, and he's just like, I don't know what happened between you two, but these are the best goddamn meals I've ever had in my entire life. Guys, I'm Joe Briggs. I'm gonna be your host and MC for this evening. Thank you so much for coming out tonight.